Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 9.3 Notes, Day 2. Today we're talking about graphing linear inequalities in two variables. Our learning target today is to be able to graph linear inequalities with horizontal and vertical lines on the XY coordinate plane, and to be able to write linear inequalities with two variables from a graph. So, what we need to know is not every inequality that can be graphed on the coordinate plane has two variables. Graph the following inequalities on the coordinate plane. Now, remember that y equals or x equals, those are special cases. Now, whenever it's a y graph right here, it's going to be a horizontal line, okay? And if it's horizontal, we have to make sure that it crosses the y-axis, okay? So, we still need to know if it's going to be solid or dotted, okay? And this line right here is going to be solid. So when we draw our solid line at -2, remember that -2 is down here, and just draw your solid line going across. Okay? Well, now we can't really shade. Before, when we talk about shading up or down, left or right, it's like, what do we do? Remember that this is greater than. If it's greater, we have to shade above. So I'm going to shade everything that is above. And there you go. All right. For y is less than 6, okay, first off, this is going to be a dotted line. I believe we said that it was dashed. Okay. And are we going to shade above or below? Well, we're going to shade below. So go to 6, which is up here, and it's going to be a dashed line. And then we need to shade below that. And there you go, that's it. Not too difficult. Okay, so for 3 and 4, they're both x's, okay? So when it's an x graph, that's a vertical line, okay? And we have to make sure that it crosses the x-axis, okay? And now when we shade, we're going to be shading either right or left. So that's what we're going to have to ask ourselves in these ones, okay? So we got 5 right there. So we know that's where our line's going to be. It's going to be solid. So at 5, I'm going to draw a nice solid line. Remember that this is the x-axis, so it has to cross that. Okay, now this is less than, okay? If it's less than, that means we have to shade to the left, because that's numbers that are less than 5. Okay? All right. For number 4, this is going to be a dashed line. It's greater, so greater numbers are to the right. So I go to +7, which is right here, and I start my dashed line. And then we shade everything to the right. Okay? All right. 6, 7, or 5, 6, and 7, they're all yours. Go ahead and pause the video and let's see how you do. Okay, so there are the 3 graphs. less than or equal to, so it's a solid, and we shade to the left. 6 is greater than, so it's dashed, and we shade above. And greater than, so it's dashed, and we shade to the right. Okay, just remember that x crosses the x-axis and y's cross the y-axis. All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. So these other ones on the back, now we have to work backwards. Okay, so one of the things to know that if it's diagonal, it's going to have two variables. Okay, so let's look at number 8. All right, it's diagonal, so we're going to have both a y and an x. So let's ask ourselves some questions. Is the line solid or dashed? Okay, it's dashed. Did they shade above or below? They shaded below. So what that symbol is, that means that it is the less than symbol, which is like that. Okay, so what is the slope? So I'm going to pick these 2 points right here, and we're going to count the slope. We went up 3 over 2. So my slope is 3 over 2. So I know that it's 3 over 2x. And then my y-intercept, which is right there, is -4. So what is the y-intercept? -4. The slope was 3 over 2. Okay? So we got to look at that information from the graph and just read it. Okay? So number 9, it's a diagonal, so we're going to have a y and an x. Is the line solid or dashed? It's solid. Did they shade above or below? They shaded below. So that's the less than or equal to. Okay, what's the slope? You pick 2 points. I went down 2 over 2. So the slope is -2 over 2, which can be reduced to -1. And the y-intercept right there is at +1. Okay? So you're kind of doing some investigation work on this. Number 10. We'll do 10 together, and then you guys do 11 and 12. So it's a diagonal, so it means we have the two variables, y and x. All right. It's dashed, and they shaded above. So that's the greater than symbol. My slope from here to here, we went down 3 over 2. So the slope is -3 over 2. And my y-intercept, which is right there, is at +3. So y is greater than -3 over 2x plus 3. Okay, number 11 and 12 are all yours. Go ahead and pause the video and let's see how you do. Okay, and there are your answers. So this is a solid line and they shaded above, so that's why it's the greater than or equal to sign. Your slope from one point to another, you went up 1 over 5, so the slope is 1/5. And then your y-intercept right there is at -2. Now number 12, it's a horizontal line. So that means it's only going to have one variable. Okay? It's dashed and they shaded below. So that's why it's the less than symbol. Okay? Now, if you have any specific questions on this or you need more assistance, please confine Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, that's it for Algebra 2, Chapter 9.3 Notes, Part 2. Thanks for watching.